Georgetown and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thanks very much for joining us. We got a chance to tell you about, the Cayman Fashion Week. We got some wonderful people joining Miss Norma, taking a trip somewhere, and then come April, well, even more. So you want to know what's going to happen? Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back. They say Fridays are fantastic, They say it teaches you to both prepare for the weekend and to be, equally appreciative of the week that unfolded with a view of what might come. And with Fridays, Ms. Norma Ebanks, how are you? She's like, I don't know.
I'm great. Today's Friday.
See, I tell people,
Today's
right?
Friday.
As someone said to me once, you pull that mic a little closer to you, Miss Norma, and even if it's a Monday, but the Fridays in your mind are your best days, you enjoy and embrace the Monday, but you, in your mind, you pause it, you say, hey, you know what? Friday soon come.
Yeah.
So you have that energy and enthusiasm. When Friday comes, you go, da 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 da.
Well, that's it, yeah. Today is Friday.
Friday. As Mr. Joel Wilson, or esteemed on air talent, he calls it a Friday. I'm not quite sure what that means, but you're here, and I know you have traveled. So as before we ask Ms. Shannon to join us, tell us, a little bit about what you've been up to. In particular, with your fashion school, we'll get to that. The Fashion Week. Last time you were here, your husband was sitting there next to you. You guys were getting ready to travel. So it was all good, right?
Yeah, it was all
right.
good.
Wow, now you see how I know I'm a truly highly favored gentleman. Are we on YouTube today, Miss Susan? Yeah? Are we on Facebook and all that thing? Are we like on international BBC News? Why not? Okay. This is the one day.
Soon, don't worry. Don't worry.
I didn't want to be on the things. Okay, we got one more stalwart to join us, but before we get to both Miss Leilani and Miss Shannon, you traveled the last time. I think it was to New York as well. When you went up, you were here. You were telling us about the courses that are coming up. It seemed like yesterday, but then I know it was the day before.
Yeah, I know. Time flies so fast. Because the last time I was here, it was about the same time I would bring in a couple models to New York Fashion Week.
You're taking them with you, right?
Yeah, we're taking them with me to New York Fashion Week.
All right.
And it's that time again.
And you're going again?
You're going again.
Right.
The good thing about it, in last year, we achieved so many opportunity that we could actually be here to talking about this year, not only taking the models with me, but also talking about Cayman in Style Fashion Week 2024.
Which is just a few months down the road.
Which is what brings us here.
All right. Well, we want to talk about that, but through you, I would like you, Ms. Norma, to ask you respectfully to introduce both Miss Shannon and Miss Leilani. I'll make sure because I know her mom will say, boy, you don't know her surname yet. So would
Don't worry, you're not alone.
No. She has a fantastic Polynesian sounding name, man. Just
Thank
amazing. All right. So, Miss Norma Eubanks, would you introduce first Miss Shannon?
So today we have Miss Shannon. Hi, Miss Shannon.
Hi,
And we have
Leilani.
the same way, Leilani. Both of them was trained last year for our 2023 Cayman In Style Fashion Week. They walked the runway last year with us, and this year it's going to be a pleasure to take both of them and a few more with me to New York Fashion Week and London Fashion Week.
So, Miss Shannon Crew, since you are to my left, just let you go first. How are you?
I'm feeling very grateful. Thank you.
You know what? They say we should always endeavor to be both gracious and grateful. I can see
agree.
you are gracious. You know, the gratefulness is evident. It's amazing how when you guys are on stage and you're modeling, it's natural. You glide across it.
Yeah.
Sitting
Pretty
here, it could be a bit different, right?
Yeah, trust me, it is.
It's the same thing. I mean, think of this as when you come to the end of the runway and it's about you to turn around and go back and change. This is where we are.
Yeah.
What is it like being a model? I mean, there are many perceptions that people have and whichever, but it seems to be a lot of work in every aspect of your life.
It is. Trust me, it is. It is a lot of work, but because it's a passion of mine, and as long as you enjoy what you love, you know, and I see it as work as well, so it's very fun for me. I make sure I have practice, you know, have Miss Norma to support me, so I know I always will do my best and stuff like that. So I
give it your all always.
Yeah, I always. It's
Okay.
a lot of pressure, but I love doing it, and that's the most important part.
Okay, we'll come back and talk, you know, more so that more of us understand that there are opportunities. It is not said with any other intent than to get the people who are here to recognize what is available here. Those of us like me who have friends from everywhere, from jurisdictions with tens of millions or hundreds of millions, we kind of don't appreciate that they get lost there. So it's not just the big fish in the small pond mentality. It's the fact that Cayman offers to everybody amazing opportunities, but sometimes we don't even know they exist because we don't seek it out. So to Miss Eden, Miss Leilani Eden, just the name alone commands that sense of grace and elegance and puts her on the world stage. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Being, you know, in Cayman sometimes, irrespective if you see yourself as an athlete in some sport, for my friends who are artists and creators, to those who may even be academically inclined, unless that pursuit in academics assists them in their careers, the wider community, spouse, parents, siblings, generally a very, very simple generalization, tend to say, well, you know, you got to focus on your career. Is that the same you find, or are we more embracing whether you're a model or you're, you know, a sculptor?
I think before it was a lot more harder to get more exposure for local models here in Cayman. And I think what Norma is doing is amazing because it's allowing us young Caymanian models that actually want to take this like to the next level, and not sure exactly like, you know, what areas we need to work in and all of that. So I think it allows us the opportunity to be able to shine, not only in Cayman, but in other places. So.
And the thing is that when we look at the Cayman context, Ms. Tom, whether it's in fashion design and the others, you know, it's my view, it's easier, and especially if you consciously choose to, you can seek out and find and identify not only people that have an interest and aptitude, but they have a demonstrated ability. Miss Grace Gila, for instance, amongst all Frankie Flowers, but there are we. You know, if I wanted to try the name drop, I could easily probably get to 20 people.
Yeah.
In a society with 20,000, right?
Yeah.
And yet, if we were in a society like the U.S. of say 350 million, I would struggle to go Muhammad Ali. Okay, I know Michael Jordan. Okay, there may be others.
Yeah.
And yet we don't celebrate our own.
We don't.
All right.
We don't.
So let's change that.
We don't. And that's where Miss Norma come in with CIFWK, Cayman In Style Fashion Week, and now we have CFWK Model Agency. So we also have our own model agency now. So not I only do the talk, I try to walk.
So,
because I promised this girl the opportunity, and I'm going to make sure I deliver it.
all right. So when we come back from the break, right, help us to understand more, because I know you also have, I guess, a non-profit element, and there are other aspects. The travel that you have done, the travel that is coming up next week. You know, tell us about it. The InStyle Fashion Week that is in April. So as a community, we can start to see the opportunities, and they may extend, in my mind, beyond the models who will wear and certainly portray the wonderful designs, beyond the, you know, the creative fashion designers that would prepare them, whether they would, I can use the word sew, they would
produce,
they would make them to the people who would market it. But then there are also other personnel at some point, as the empire grows, you need your legal, you need your accounting, you need your all these other things. Another potential industry, and instead of one person being the chief cook and bottle washer, now you employed 10,000.
10,000.
Right? All right, let's pause. Let's take the break. And when we come back, maybe in chorus we can have a song. Who wants to lead it? Stay tuned for Talk Today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Welcome to a new year with Digicel. Elevate your mobile experience by switching to our prepaid or postpaid plans. Enjoy more data, seamless communication, and uninterrupted entertainment. Plus, make the switch now for a chance to win exciting rewards. Stay connected, entertained, and make 2024 your year with Digicel. Because better connections make a better year.
Water Authority is empowering the future and building a legacy in STEM through its annual scholarship program. Applications are now open for the scholarship, valued at up to $40,000, for a student pursuing an undergraduate academic or technical vocational degree or diploma in a STEM subject relevant to the Authority's work. The deadline to apply is February 29, 2024. Visit www.waterauthority.ky to apply today.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
The 2024 Cayman Arts Festival is here, celebrating 20 years of world-class performing arts in the Cayman Islands. From February 18th through March 1st, featuring 8 unique performances, a mix of Cayman and international renowned musicians. View the full lineup of events or get your tickets at www.caymanartsfestival.com. For more information, call 922-5550 or email inquiries@caymanartsfestival.com. The 2024 Cayman Arts Festival, February 18th through March 1st.
Calling all West Bay families, the Family Resource Center is coming to the West Bay District Do you need parenting tips and strategies to manage your children's behavior? Do you sometimes find it challenging to manage your child's outbursts? Join us at the Rethink Parenting Fair, an opportunity to hear from experts and what they have to say on topics such as positive parenting, nutrition and the impact on behavior, understanding children with ADHD, and managing screen time. The fair is free. Bring your entire family, parents, grandparents, and children. Entertainment will be provided for children, as well as light refreshments and special prizes up for grabs. Join us on Saturday, February 3rd at the Johnny Cumber Primary School Hall from 10 to 2 p.m.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. So we'll have to open line at 1 o'clock, but I'm honored to be able to join with Ms. Norma Ebanks. And if I could, another fantastic lady who I must credit for connecting us today, especially Miss Mona Lisa. She's not just a great marketing extraordinaire, but it's a wonderful person.
Yeah,
the way she gives of everybody, and never really asks for anything, So if it's okay, if Miss Mona Lisa would accept that.
That's Miss Mona Lisa.
That's what she.
Yeah.
The former Miss Cayman. I mean, and I say that because as I was coming back to the break, we have so many great people in our country, whether their ancestral links go back generations, whether they go back decades. They've only been here recent. If we all join hands and hearts and we support and nurture, the three of you're here. I'm honored to see not just the abilities you have, but the opportunities that have been afforded, and your willingness to embrace. And as you beat the path, others can see and go, you know what, it is now possible. So as we talk about In Style Fashion Week, let's first talk about, as you referenced, Ms. Norma, you've gone to New York Fashion Week. You're going next week.
We've been to New York, Miami, London, Milan.
Yeah. So you read my notes, man. And my notes are in my head. So you've gone to New York Fashion Week, but you've also, as you've referenced, gone to other places. And even me, who don't necessarily pay attention to fashion or that sort of thing, those are very, very prominent places and names and important things. And you've gone. The opportunities have been afforded and you've capitalized. So what does that mean for the young people in Cayman, or the people in Cayman who want to consider this? And I'll come back to Ms. Shannon in a second. Similar, but you're facilitating, you talk about the modeling agency, you've created a non-profit. From small things, I mean.
Cayman In Style Fashion Week this is our 3-year anniversary, and this year we have a 4-day showcase trend, both local and international designer. So we push it a little further. It used to be just that 1 day. Now we push it to a 4-day event. So this time around we have swimsuit, resort wear, welcome party, which is the 18th of April. The 19th, we have the Trailblazer Award. It's going to be a gala this year around. It's going to be our first year gala. And then Saturday, what we did this time around, we separate the kids show from the adult. So we have 2 shows. We have an expo all day. And then within the expo, we have the kids show at 2 o'clock, followed by the adult show at 7. So we're definitely expanding. So we go along. Here we try to make it be a week. It's a week. It's Cayman Island Fashion Week.
Right. And as you take, and showcase the talent from the designs to the models to, international markets, whether London, Milan, New York, or the like. But during the In Style Fashion Week, you're bringing talent to the shores as well. So we get to network, rub shoulders. We get to see, learn, and partner. Yeah,
because Cayman In Style Week is more than just a showcase of fashion. It's a movement dedicated to nurture the creative potential among the youth in design and art. Our primary mission around supporting talent growth through the Creative Fashion School, which is the non-profit organization. This year, all proceeds go towards the Cayman Creative Fashion School. Because the Creative Fashion School, we're aiming, to bring out the talent in our young people, whether it's youth, whether it's adult. We're trying to bring that program. And as you know, I have that program over a period of years. I love it so much that I turned it into an NPO.
And I think people realize that there are ways to contribute, still be able to survive, but pursue your passion. So, Ms. Shannon, from that perspective, many of us probably who are like me only know of fashion and models, when they literally just standing before us. But the opportunities, how did that industry sort of fall? How do you become attracted to that? How do you know you wanted to do that?
I don't know if you remember, but Salida Ebanks, the former, she is still a model, but I don't think she's here now, but she hosted a fashion show, a private fashion show by the A.L. Thompson's mansion, I think it was. And she told me that she thinks I have a lot of potential. I didn't believe it at the time. Until afterwards, when the show was finished, I was completely proud of myself. And she said, "Girl, you're a superstar." And after she said that to me, just coming from her alone was enough to know that, yes, I have the potential. Why not pursue it? And then thereafter, I met Miss Norma. Blessing in my life.
You see, thank you for that, because I mean, the first time I met Salida in her official capacity, and there was an event at a Harquail, and it struck me that in our midst, as a society, I don't want to say we take for granted, but at the very least we don't nurture, showcase and celebrate and champion our people. And people might say that's the same in any relatively small jurisdiction. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
So if we do that, she had a positive, kind, encouraging word for you that gave you the courage, right?
And a lot of our young people, that's what I face every day. Miss Norma, I want, but you think I'm pretty enough? You think I'm good enough? Come on now. Yeah. So you realize they want to do it, but they're so doubting themselves. So I try to have workshop to teach them how to be brave, how to have confidence, to let them know they're beautiful as they are, whether they are short or they are tall, they are white collar, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as you have that drive and you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. You just have to have that self-passion, confidence, and self-worth.
I mean, the scripture talks about life and death is in the tongue, right? And as both of you have shared, it makes it even more important for us, teacher, parent, coach, whomever, as an adult. It's bad enough peer-to-peer, but as an adult, to be honest with the children, but to be positive and encouraging and nurturing. And, it may not be that you'll be the next Pele, but who knows, you could be, almost as good, maybe the next Messi. Pele's the better player. Okay, just telling you, Mr. Neil. Miss Leilani, from that perspective, some of us know what we want, some of us come by it, some of us believe we could, but it just takes a little encouragement for you in modeling and the whole fashion industry. You always knew, found out recently, still thinking about it?
I think it started from when I was probably like 16. I did my first show at National Gallery. It was with Izzy B Design. I don't know if you know who she is. And she kind of, took me under her wing and just provided me insights on like modeling, things you have to do if you want to get there. So I think I was introduced to modeling locally through her. And I think that as long as you're dedicated and you like it, and you also take criticism as well, you can get very far with it. But I think you have to have that certain like drive and really want it and work towards it and slowly progress, because I think people think that it's it's just right there and then you can just grab it, but no, it takes dedication and work and slow progress.
And do you think people have generally the perception that it's not work? I mean, you're dressed up, you look beautiful.
Yes,
you
I
walk.
think people think that it's just cute pictures.
It's just cute pictures,
and
yes.
then
It takes
just
a lot
wearing
more, yes.
high heels on the show. No, it's much more than just that.
Yeah. I'm almost inclined to tell partial a story in order to encourage some young people who were doing quote-unquote a fashion show. And so our role as the adults, get them there safely, make sure they got food, take care of them. And there was someone, I won't name his name, and he said, you just walk the stage, you get up and this is what you gotta do. And in his, steps, just his regular clothes he came with, shorts, jeans, t-shirt, sneakers. And as he walked, you could see the nerves come over him. The only people were there, the children that we took, the other adults that were coordinating it. And this was just, a little thing for a little fundraiser, not like what you all do. And he came back and go, well, what happened? He realized then how intimidating it can be.
It can be.
Right?
It really
I should call his name. He's a big boy now, but that's good.
But it can be very.
Exactly. So before we go into the break, if I may ask Ms. Eden, does it help then not only to have someone in your corner? I mean, your mother is a phenomenal creative in her own right.
Yeah.
I've seen her work. She's amazing. So does that help when whether it's a parent or whether it's a good friend or someone else? Just encouraging and nurturing. And
yeah, I think you have to find your support system throughout the whole thing. Because, a lot of the time, we're human. We go through things. Life happens. So just having that support system really helps to achieve, your goals. And I think my support system would probably be my mom and Miss Norma. Because
you have to have that supporting system.
Yeah.
You do.
And everything. I mean, and I shared a story. I was inclined to share it. Felt late to share it because he used that sense to appreciate empathy and how sometimes you think something is until you experience it firsthand. And all it was, I mean, we assembled a little stage. It wasn't nothing to it. And he was just saying, all you got to do, little child, is just walk out. And as he walked, now it might have been that the light had come on to sort of highlight the spotlight.
Yeah.
It may have been that, it may have been, but it was a very seminal moment in a teaching lesson, right, for us as adults. All right, when we come back, could we ask a couple of things more about the Style Fashion Week in April, how we can be a part of it? So certainly, we only want to wish a very safe and successful journey next week, but talk more about that. And then some of the things as a country that we can partner and what opportunities exist. Fine?
Yeah.
And then can we order some chocolate, please? Okay, we'll do that. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it, they've got it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares now on sale for just $410 CI round trip to LA. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Welcome to a new year with Digicel. Elevate your mobile experience by switching to our prepaid or postpaid plans. Enjoy more data, seamless communication, and uninterrupted entertainment. Plus, make the switch now for a chance to win exciting rewards. Stay connected, entertained, and make 2024 your year with Digicel. Because better connections make a better year.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. And 1 o'clock after the headlines, we'll have some open line. We want to share with you a few things that some of the members in the legal profession relate to us. I tried to print it, but I hope it's my glasses way so blurred, but maybe it's not. We'll get through it. But I'm really, really grateful both for it being a Friday and to be able to celebrate in such a positive way, and not just the accomplishments, the opportunities and the potential and promise that lies ahead for our young people. Ms. Nori, thanks to you and Ms. Shannon and Ms. Leilani. Thanks for coming in, because I'm believing, as Shannon shared earlier, Salida's not just kind words, not just congratulating, but encouraging can make a meaningful difference.
It can make a big difference. A big difference.
But then could also a discouraging word, a frown. So let's not do that. Let's do what Miss Lida did. And then, of course, Leilani, who knows where it'll take you if you work and you're supported and nurtured. So, Miss Norma, in less than the 10 minutes that we have for this part of our discussion, you're going to travel next week?
Yeah. We go off next week, Wednesday, to New York.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be in New York from the 7th to
Mm-hmm.
11th.
Yeah, pull your mic close.
It's from the 7th to 11th.
Mhm.
And then some come back Cayman and some go off to London Fashion Week. London Fashion Week will be the 17th. And that weekend in the Cayman Island, we're having our workshop, our model workshop. So we're going to have 4 days model workshop, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at King Sports Center to be announced.
Okay.
So not only they go to New York, while they are in New York, London, we're also training some of our own back here.
So with that workshop, because like anything, I mean, football players go to training, and they may know how to kick the ball, but they learn how to do it better. Maybe they become, a much more proficient at a free kick or a penalty. So at your model workshop, what do you learn? Do you need to come with skills?
So at that model workshop, because we have CIFWK Fashion Week coming up, we just don't want to recruit models.
Okay.
Just come in and just put you on the runway and say walk. No, we want to know that you're educated about what it is to be a model, what it takes to be a model. And we have our own coach, Alva Page, will be on the island for a week to help me do that.
Okay.
So we have the model workshop. Then after the model workshop, we do the model call for our show.
So you'll be selecting people based on what you see then?
Yes,
Okay.
because then you can't call model call in Cayman for a show when we don't have models.
Okay.
So what we do, we have the workshop. So, okay, then this is what it takes to be a model. Then you decide if you want to go further with it.
So let's answer that question. What does it take to be a model?
Wow. It takes confidence.
Got that? Okay.
Braveness.
Oh, jeez.
Proper posture.
Okay.
Proper pose. It also, you learn how to prepare a com card. A com card is something that you're asked for when you're applying to be a model. Not only dress, how to dress to prepare your com card.
Okay. So what is on that? I mean, because I'm not sure I've heard that word before.
What is a com card, Shani?
A com card has all your details. For example, your height, your measurements, your photos, that headshots, full body, and your contact information. So it's easy for designers to get a hold of you and know your sizes for the designs and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked her, because we have this conversation.
Right.
So now that we have this conversation, if I said to her, send your com card over to, I am not behind the back of my head, oh my God, did she do it properly? Did she chose the wrong photos, the wrong pose? Did she represent herself
So you have
properly?
multiple ones depending on what that particular shoot might look like or fashion.
Yes.
So similar to photographers or designers that may have a portfolio that they can show, this is a quick sort of, hey, this is me, this is what I am. And
your everyday life,
Okay.
your social media.
Yeah.
Because they're going to look on your social media.
Yeah. Wonder what mine would look like. I just kid. I joke. I'm part of learning to prepare for these interviews is to stumble upon things you didn't know. And I really glad that you referenced that because I didn't want to ask.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you did because so many times, as you were saying earlier during the break, we don't know. We don't ask. And people sometimes who know don't share. And it's not always that they assume you know. I think it's deliberately they don't want to impart that knowledge for whatever reason. That doesn't help us. So you being here helps us to get there for the rest of us. Miss Eden, with that though, is it the perception that in the fashion industry and in the modeling, it's the reality shows, the cutthroat competitive thing, or is it because you two ladies here have been remarkable, just so bubbling, friendly, and encouraging? And is it because rain came on, or is it that's how it is?
I think that that's how it is, but at the same time, we do go through stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It does get hectic. So you just have to make sure that you're also prepared. And I think everyone has a responsibility. Each individual that actually wants to pursue this has a responsibility. They should be able to demonstrate that they have what it takes to be in the show and to be a model.
Like in the industry. I mean, a football player.
Ask questions.
So you can imagine how hard it was to choose from 128 models to take to New York with me.
And you selected 4 to 5, I think, right?
I selected 5, 8, 9 in total on this trip.
Okay. All right. Who for your training come up on? You said that was the February, the week partly the 17th, and what ages? You're looking for male and female. Tell
Both.
me what are you looking for?
Our age is 5-year-old to 18, so it's kids to teen. And then this year we do adult from 18 straight back to 35. Yeah, because it's modeling, it's self-confident. So you don't really have to be 16, 17, 18. You could be 40
All right.
and apply to be a model.
So I just listened to you, and some of the criteria, you got to be brave. So I can check confident. I can check that. The age, I still in that age group. I got most of the criteria.
You have all of it, yeah.
There you go. No, but
so you just have to have the confidence.
confidence. All right. Now, can I do it in pen and paper, or I got to do it online?
You go online.
Oh, jeez.
You go to our website. You go online.
More struggles again.
You go online.
No, all jokes. I'm hoping that parents, as they're listening, that like we would with anything, we help our children to navigate, to encourage, and to be honest with them, but still loving. So for those who want to be a part of either the Style Fashion Week, the modeling training session, or anything else, what are some of the best ways to find out information, get in contact? What's available?
Well, you can get information on our website. Our website is www.Cayman in Style Fashion Week. Instagram, CIFWK Official. We have Facebook, and we have Twitter. And you can get Miss Norma. I won't give out that number on the phone, but I'd rather everybody go to the website. Yeah, rather everybody go.
For the right fee, we will not give it out.
Yeah, rather
So
everybody.
You better start thinking. All right. No, Miss Norma, thanks. And as we did the last time you left and when you return, please, whether phone call or in studio, this can highlight our community and show the opportunities. And I think as Leilani shared, the
And
courage,
we
the
also
bravery.
is going to be at Agriculture Show. We're going to have a booth at Agriculture Show. So if you miss this, you can catch us at Agriculture Show.
Man, you tagging me for a joke, but I'm not saying nothing. Thank you, Miss Norma, and with your consent, let me leave the final two words to Miss Eden and then Miss Crew. What would you like to say, Miss Leilani, to parents in general as they encourage and nurture children, to other of your peers who may have considered modeling but backed away, who were thinking about it, or even just pursuing and attaining success in life? Any encouraging words?
I think my encouraging words is if you are thinking of pursuing modeling and you are interested in it, that you should put yourself out there and take the time.
Attend
the workshop.
Attend the workshop.
And just ensure that you have all of the what the criteria and the requirements are. And yeah, just your support system.
Mm-hmm.
And show what you bring to the table.
Cool. Yeah. And Miss Shannon.
Encouraging words.
Or whatever you want to share. I mean, it can be me.
To be honest, if you're looking for a sign to become a model, I think this would be it. If you're listening to the station right now, you can always reach out to Miss Norma herself or one of us as well if you're looking for advice.
Mhm.
If you feel like you're not qualified, if you're not worth it, because I know sometimes you can struggle with self-esteem and stuff like that. It's fine. We all had to start somewhere. And for me, I had to start somewhere, and I wasn't always this confident, I wasn't always this talented, but throughout the couple of months and the years that I've been doing what I've been doing, I've gotten where I am. And as long as you practice, you keep practicing, you take in notes, and as long as you have that passion and you're ready, just come and we'll help you out. We'll make sure we give you that push, that support. If you don't have it, we definitely are like a family and we'll give you that. Trust me, all we need is just for you to show up, sign, and we'll go from there. You got this.
The longest journey starts with a single step. Miss Shannon, to you, and Miss Eden, thanks both for coming in. So this speaks to what we do if we're genuine, if we're willing. As I keep saying this year, it seems to be my phrase: join hands and hearts. Work together, make it better. Congrats again. I want you when you return to reach out to me, either through Miss Mona, and let us have a discussion. All right. All right. Prayers for a very safe trip to and fro. And a wonderful, wonderful
Thanks
time.
for having us.
Always.
See
All right.
everybody at the workshop.
Yeah,
Okay,
see you there.
There you go. All right, news break, open line, and then Susan's time. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
Cayman InStyle Fashion Week is back, and this year will take place from April 18th through the 21st. The event will showcase the latest trends from both Caymanian and international designers, with runway shows, awards, and other activities. You can find out more about Cayman InStyle Fashion Week by following them on social media or CaymanInStyleFashionWeek.com. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. A huge gas blast in the Kenyan capital Nairobi has killed at least 3 people and injured nearly 300. A lorry carrying gas cylinders exploded in a district on Thursday, igniting a huge ball of fire, an official said. Housing, businesses and cars were damaged, with video showing a huge blaze raging close to blocks of flats. And Brianna Gay's killers have been given life sentences for her brutal, planned and sadistic murder. Scarlett Jenkinson and Eddie Ratcliffe murdered the 16-year-old in a park in Cheshire in February of 2023. Jenkinson was given 22 years, while Ratcliffe was detained for 20 years. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born in Creek, Cayman Brac on the 25th of September 1939, Henry Mansfield Connolly was the third of 8 children for Henry Kitchener and Olive Connolly. Following a 30-year career with National Bulk Carriers, he was one of few Brackers who worked with Cayman Energy Company doing the ship-to-ship oil transfers off the island in the 1980s. Following a medical injury, he retired from sea and started his own plumbing engineer company, C&H Plumbing, which he owned for 16 years. Prior to relocating to Grand Cayman, he was a volunteer during hurricane emergencies, assisting with the safety of the elderly in his district. Mr. Connolly was one of the original band members of the famous Brac Beach Boys, a member of the Sister Islands Veterans and Seaman Society, and also a member of the Seafarers Association on Grand Cayman. In 2003, he was one of 500 Seamen Medal honorees for their contribution to the Southwell years.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
All right, Miss Susan. You got a camera on me and I'm seated in my chair. All right, let's do it. What's today? Friday? It is still a Friday. Not Saturday yet? Okay. It's open line and we want you to join us. And I'll ask you, if you wish, take the lead in our discussions. I'm happy to share some things, and I have been asked to maybe invite some comments from some of the things that we're understanding happening in our society and appreciating the potential impact. But nonetheless, it's about dialogue. And sometimes that which is said and shared can be discouraging. But it's about being positive and productive. How can we, from a very pensive perspective, ensure that whatever we endeavor to do brings about a meaningful impact? And we hear, oh, change is the only constant. And we're only willing sometimes to embrace change if it is us that is driving that change. Because many people want to maintain the status quo because it benefits them or their fear of the unknown. All right, as the phone lines light up, we take your calls at 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621. And on this fantastic Friday afternoon, we have some open line to end out, this week's show. So let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, good day, my brother. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, my friend. How are you?
Man, I got a couple words I want to describe how I'm doing in a couple words, actually.
All right. Go right ahead, man.
Like a short couple verses for a song.
Okay.
Maybe I'll repeat myself.
Well, it wouldn't be a song if the stanza didn't repeat, so go right ahead, man.
All right. This is going out to my good old friend. She's somewhere on the island. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. When she's gone. When she's gone away. All right.
It must be that she must be present because thus far, from the time the sun, made his our parents early in the day. It's been a beautiful sunshiny day, man. So,
yes.
but you know,
Right.
yeah, man. But even when it's raining and outside, if we have sunshine on the inside, if we are willing to, as Miss Shannon shared earlier, be both grateful and gracious. You're a very positive individual, and you've shared many times, the desire to see, where there are needs that they are met, the desire to seek out where we can be of help. Can I ask you, if you're willing, whether in song or prose or otherwise, what is that one thing right now that this country needs?
I think less stress is a good start.
It's a good start,
I can remember maybe like couple medical staff saying things like laughter is good medicine, something like that.
Yeah, we've heard that. Yeah,
and music, good soothing music is good for your blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
To my recollection, that's what I remember them saying, something like that. Can you imagine being in a terrible mood and you got the strength to sing a nice love song or say, for example, your friend or wife or cousin or someone in a horrible mood and you sing a nice song for them.
Yeah.
And they smile and they feel better.
Yeah, man. I mean, thank you, man. Think about it, right? We often either did or perhaps can remember when our parents did it for us. We'll sing a lullaby or a song or something as we are trying to soothe the child and have the child settle as it gets ready to slumber. And then that peaceful night's rest that comes, Billy Joel, I think he's a great storyteller, probably, one of the best musicians ever. And
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good thing, I think it's good for your health, but you can always inquire with a doctor. But I think good.
Mm-hmm. But you are right.
I think you get
Yeah,
different effects from different songs, but I think good soothing music is good for the health. So I'll try to.
All right. And thank you. If you would allow me through you to share this, something that we've heard, probably even repeated, and most likely said as a child. Be careful, little eyes, what you see, ears, what you hear, and so on, right? And understanding how, say the music, the images, the sounds that we take in, we consume, we watch, we listen to, how they can affect us. Maybe we need to be a little more conscious if we're driving in the car, with the children, or we, the parents, we, the adults, whether we have children or not, or whether we're alone, as you just shared, is that image, is that sound one that is, energizing the soul in a very positive way? Is it beating down our spirit? Remember the published studies that tested the impact different types of music would have on plants. Now, I wasn't there when the study was conducted, and I would want to say let's hope that we can trust, even in the absence of verifying, but since this is peer-reviewed, the data, here we have, researchers playing different types of music to the same plants under the same condition. The only variable that is changed is the type of music. And some plants died quickly, and some flourished wonderfully, right?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
so
I heard about it.
If that's a plant, probably the same or worse could be for us as people. Just a thought. So I like what you say, man.
And I like to say, for example, in a sort of, it's also good. I think that those couple words are good for example, for example, you have a song like that referring to, he breaks up with his girlfriend, but he's singing and he just expresses himself in song, or he meets a wonderful woman and never sees her again, and or maybe, for example, someone going off to another country, to do maybe even sing or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my friend, it is something that I think we need to, as you shared, be more conscious about.
Right.
But thanks for your call always. Anything else you want to share with us?
Well, I got a short little piece. So let me give you this one. Now, I sang this for one later. Couple years ago, she gave me her autograph. But anyway, we were talking, and I just put out a couple little words to her, like in these words: I ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, and I ain't got no girl to make me smile. So I worry, I ain't happy. Not exactly like that, but it was that song, and she laughed. She had a good laugh.
Yeah, man. Well, you're a jovial spirit. You always.
She's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right.
Wow. Hey, my friend. It's a challenging day, man. It's a challenging day. Thank you, though, for bringing positivity, because every minute we hear something that sometimes is not just disheartening and negative, but it is very, very, alarming and weighs on you. But take care of yourself, right? And tell us, some open line, 949-8037, 949-6990. I'll share with you that when we look at the seats of the men who occupy, whether they're a politician, always in the public, whether they're a celebrity, or whether it's just a very affable member of our community that is well known, the things that befall us, from sad news of tragic losses to, a very glaring injustice, it's difficult to maybe show up and be present, but we try. So let's dig deep when we find those songs, as the gentleman that just called shared. We don't just have to come and be there. We got to actually care. 949-6990, 949-8037. Two numbers that you can dial and get through to us. You can also WhatsApp 925-32621. I want to ask if you are able to. Let me share this with you that was shared with me. I'll ask if you can, comment, and to see what extent. And we can even get into some speculation as to, maybe why it is, or why it is that it hasn't been implemented before now. So presumably this is a communique from the Lands and Survey Department through the Chief Valuation Officer, and was issued on the 19th of January. And it affects, transfers under the, stamp duty, and the transfers made pursuant to court orders. And I want to share with you, but let's take this call first. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling, and good afternoon to everybody.
And to you, sir. How have you been? Been a while we haven't heard from you. How are you?
Yeah, that's right. Lots of people. Well, several people asked me what happened. Don't hear you. Well, time of turmoil I was going through. Anyway, we're going to talk about some new things now. I just want the residents of Grand Cayman to know there is a tow that is coming through passing Grand Cayman on the way from Mexico going to Chaguaramas, Trinidad, which is the biggest object that has ever been towed through Cayman Island waters in history. And it's one of the biggest tankers in the world that was involved in ship-to-ship transfers during Cayman Energy time in 1979. She's one of the few that is left in the world that are still in existence most of them are scrapped. And this tanker was here in 1979 under the name of Juno. And I worked on board the tanker as assistant mooring master with other Cayman Brackers on board at the time. And this ship was sold and carried to Mexico for a storage tanker. It's non-propelled. It's just totally dead in the water, being towed by a tugboat.
Mm-hmm.
And that ship is 1,284 feet long. It's among the very few in the world today that is that long, almost 1,300 feet long. And a small tug, just about the size of the point of sand, Thompson's tug, has got the task towing that from Mexico. They've been through that strong cold front that we just had coming around the west end of Cuba, through that, just doing about 2 or 3 knots. And they are about 80 miles to the west of Grand Cayman. They're actually headed straight to the west end of Grand Cayman. Hard to say if it's south of Grand Cayman or north of Grand Cayman, but the projected path was south of Grand Cayman, so it would be very interesting. Any of the fishermen out there, anybody that is listening to me,
Mm-hmm.
could take a trip out there. Looks like very late tonight, or it could be into tomorrow morning. I hope it's daylight tomorrow morning where people would get to see it. And I'm not sure if it's going to Trinidad. Chaguaramas has a big repair dry dock there, whether they're going to anchor off the ship and lift on or lift off some large structures from it and then take it to Brazil, or I'm not sure. They may even be towing it to go to a scrap yard in the Far East, but I'm not sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's one of the histories behind the tanker Juno that was here doing ship-to-ship transfers during Cayman Energy time. And there's 5 of the national bulk carrier ships that hundreds of Caymanians have sailed on that been in this area. Ship-to-ship transfers are still in existence worldwide. That's about the only ships that are left from all of those that came to Cayman Brac during the ship-to-ship transfer. It was over around more than 1,000 ships came off Cayman Brac. We had such a busy time. There were 14 tankers lined off the coast one time. 3 ship-to-ship transfers going on at one time, and that was in 1978, 79, when things were very busy here. And also to say to the public that the Cayman Islands passage has increased by about 75 ships more per month passing through this area due to the Suez Canal attacks on ships. They are avoiding the Suez Canal and avoiding the Panama Canal because the Panama Canal can only accommodate 28 ship passages a day. It used to be 42, and it's cut down to 28. So the ships are coming there, anchoring off, wasting time up to 3 weeks, so they can't take that chance anymore. So they're coming through the Caribbean area and going around the Cape of South Africa, Cape Town, coming from the Far East. So it's quite alarming to see the amount of ships that are coming through the Cayman Island passage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also to say that the amount of people that was actually hostages, there are, the last report I got, it was 35 Filipinos are on ships that are hijacked up there because of the war zone. One ship is a British flag car carrier that I talked with passing here about 3 months ago. It brought cars from Japan to Kingston, Jamaica, and past Grand Cayman, going to Veracruz, Mexico, and then it went to United States and went through Europe and went up there and the Bab al-Mandab Strait and the Red Sea and got hijacked by the Houthi rebels. And it's been there since November the 19th with 25 crew members on board. And there is another one with 18 Filipinos on board and nobody nowhere in the world can get anything done to have these ships released. They're just staying there indefinitely, don't know when they will be released. So imagine the fears and the worries of the family and the members of all involved with those terrible things. And as we hear about the war up there, it's causing the price of everything to go up because the shipments of containers, to bring a container from the Far East to Europe a month ago would be $1,500, and it's gone now to $5,000, and expected to reach $12,000 very soon as a result of the war, being the ships how to reroute and go around Africa instead of going through the Suez Canal. And then this Panama Canal is actually a shameful thing to be happening. There's not enough water from rain. Because of rain, you imagine the Panama Canal can't have its ships passing through because they got to wait on Mother Nature to produce rain. That's the strangest thing. They made a mistake when they did the new canal, that they didn't build a big enough reservoir to trap the fresh water. It takes about 52 million gallons for each ship transit through the Panama Canal. About 52 million gallons. And it's fresh water. It's not salt water, so that's a problem. Has to be fresh water. The pumps and everything is designed for fresh water. And also, if you put salt water inside, then it would kill the vegetation, all the trees and that is growing around each side of the canal. So they have to wait now. Said it could last up to 6 years, and maybe in February, late February, March, the amount of ships that could go through there a day may only be 18. So it's a disruption in the world's traffic and causing the cost of goods to go up all around the world because of ships losing time and they can't bring the full amount of cargo from the Far East to the United States. The ships can bring 1,500 to 2,500 less containers than the ships carrying 14,000 containers can't carry that amount anymore. They're reduced by 1,500 to 2,500 less. So that's a major problem. The two busiest waterways in the world is causing the price of everything to go up in the world because of that. So all of us will be feeling those effects from things like that.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Mr. Raymond, for always not just reminding us of the importance of our maritime heritage, but the importance, of what the sea is today, still to our lives and livelihoods. So, thanks, man. Any other thoughts you want to share as we go to the break?
I forgot to mention the deadweight tonnage of that ship that is being towed is 352,000 ton, and it's a Mexican name, Tarconta. Tarconta, it's the name.
All right.
And Carlo Magno is the Italian tug that has it in tow.
Okay.
And Chaguaramas, Trinidad was a very popular place for Caymanians to reside and go there to work. I remember Captain Ira Bodin, which was an uncle of mine. He lived up there for many years. So Chaguaramas is a very popular place for Caymanians going there to work in the 75 years ago.
Yeah. Strong connection between, the Twin Island and the Tri-Island. So, Cayman, Trinidad, thank you for reminding us, my friend. Enjoy your afternoon, sir.
Okay, good, fine.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Raymond Scott, he's always aware of the ocean-going, traffic that bypasses our shores, but when it comes to not just the maritime history, but the things that are, contemporary, he keeps us current. All right, let's pause and take that break. When we come back, we want to share with you this communique from the Chief Valuation Officer, who's shared with us, a handful of attorneys. Thank them for sending it across. Let's see what it means. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters. for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Texting while driving causes 40% of road fatalities in the Cayman Islands.
Mommy, put your phone down. Just 1 minute, honey. I need to send a message to your dad. Mommy!
But what if she wasn't texting while driving?
What if she just waited until she got home?
What if we just put down our phones and stopped to think? What if, as a community, we rose to the challenge of keeping our roads safe? What if we came together to stop these accidents and fatalities?
What if we all walked the road to zero
and decided no more in 2024?
Calling all West Bay families, the Family Resource Center is coming to the West Bay District. Do you need parenting tips and strategies to manage your children's behavior? Do you sometimes find it challenging to manage your child's outbursts? Join us at the Rethink Parenting Fair, an opportunity to hear from experts and what they have to say on topics such as positive parenting, nutrition and the impact on behavior, understanding children with ADHD, and managing screen time. The fair is free. Bring your entire family, parents, grandparents, and children. Entertainment will be provided for children as well as light refreshments and special prizes up for grabs. Join us on Saturday, February 3rd at the John A. Cumber Primary School Hall from 10 to 2 p.m.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And we invite you to be with us for the remaining hour or thereabouts as we have some open line. Here are some numbers that you can call and share your thoughts with us: 949-8037, 949-6990. Of course, you can WhatsApp, you can send a voice note, type something, text to speech, however that works for you. Or you can actually call us on WhatsApp, 925-3261. Again, I wanted to share this as it was shared with us. It's a communique from the Chief Valuation Officer dated on the 19th of January. And I'll read most of it, but not all. It's the charge of stamp duty on transfers made pursuant to court orders is how it's titled. And it starts by sharing, in our ongoing effort to ensure compliance with the Stamp Duty Act, the 2019 revision, We have identified a need to clarify our approach to the collection of stamp duty on transfers of land pursuant to court orders, including, make sure because my hair was it, including orders made pursuant in divorce proceedings. This clarification aims to ensure that our practices align with the legal framework and to ensure equitable treatment of all, transactions. And of course, the reference is that under the heading conveyance on transfer of any immovable property, so land, buildings, and the like, immovable property, stamp duty is payable at the rate of 7.5% of the consideration for transfers falling within the requisite paragraphs and subparagraphs. So the consideration is just, that's the word to say how much you're paying for it, or how much they assess you should be paying for it if they think that's higher. And then it goes into the requisite sections of the law that, for the purposes of, the transactions and the like. And then it continues by saying, accordingly, any conveyances or transfers of immovable property which are being transferred pursuant to a court order are chargeable for stamp duty determined on the basis of the requisite paragraphs in the schedule as they apply. Now it says transfers pursuant to a court order will be evaluated to ensure they satisfy the requirements of Section 3, subsection 1 of the Stamp Duty Act. This includes transfers pursuant to a court order made in dissolution, quote unquote, or in brackets, divorce proceedings. In cases of divorce, the stamp duty will be calculated based on the market value of the property being transferred or the consideration stated in the transfer document, whichever is higher. This ensures a fair and consistent approach and in keeping with the schedule of the Stamp Duty Act. Now, it asks the question, when does this advisory note come into effect? It says this advisory note will be applied to any documents presented on or after the 1st of March 2024. So as of, March the 1st, and this was issued the 19th of January. If you have any queries, you can contact the Chief Valuation Officer at the Lands and Survey Department, Box 120, 133 Elgin Avenue, or you can call 244-3420 or email, the lv@gov.ky. And I'll be, grateful for, when people share information with us and to the attorneys out there. That affects sometimes only a small number. Sometimes, it only something that comes to light when something, affects you, and then that may have been a bit late. Now, what I am told, and I want to make sure that I have this, let me just consult the notes. If this is implemented as proposed in this communique from the Chief Valuation Officer, what is now a cost of $50 pursuant to a court order will now be assessed at 7.5% of the value of the land. And even if you transfer it for $0 per the court order, no one party don't need to pay the other party. The lawyers who share this with me say, well, if the Chief Valuation Officer or the Government Lands and Survey Department says, wait a minute, this property is worth $100,000 or $1 million, it'll be assessed at 7.5%. Now, 2 of the 3 lawyers in attendance initially question, well, will this be relative to all court orders, not court orders as it identifies in this discussion or in this letter, made pursuant to divorce proceedings, but what about other court orders, and they're much more familiar and can speak to that competently. Now, 1 of the 3 initially said they didn't have any particular expectation that this would come, so it kind of caught them off guard. A few have said, well, they're not worried about it because the client would pay for it. But as one of the three said, it's not about any other than moving from a cost of $50 and it's a court order, and if the court orders something, unless that order is reversed or changed or however the lawyers say it happens, you better do it or you not only suffer other consequences. And if the court orders it, you have to comply. And this now could mean that people, again, in the example as the letter shares, in divorce proceedings, we may find themselves having to spend a lot more money to settle their matrimonial estate. Now, from $50 to potential tens of thousands, could be a significant hit to many people. But what is your thought? And as one individual in the sort of initial discussion started to speculate, well, why is this happening now? Is it, as people have shared, is the government, to date, all the expenditures, the debt, causing us to be in a financial position where we need to find as much revenue as we can, any projected, anticipated, or desired borrowings for that to be financed to meet current budget expectations. And again, this is where these sort of speculative comments come into play. Now, you may be aware of this. I would not have had it not been shown to me. It would not necessarily be something that impact many of us. And as one individual shared earlier, well, to that individual in the middle to lower incomes, this could be a significant financial impact, having to now not only go through a personal ordeal, but as properties are transferred pursuant to a court order after the divorce proceedings, having to pay stamp duty. What if that amount now is 7.5%, but it becomes 15%, 10%? Is that something that would be a financial burden that may be unbearable for some? In the day, it certainly will cost more. So from $50 to a significant percentage as levied at 7.5% could mean tens of thousands in some cases. Your thoughts? 949-8037, 949-6990, or toll free at 1-800, still working, 534-8255 for those who can access that number. And of course, WhatsApp 925-3261. The other interesting discussion, and we've heard it from a number of individuals recently, some are reached out to me and shared, they're not quite sure that our historical record, not only is it accurately recorded, but given much of the current, discussion, it would seem that there's a lot of theory, speculation, suppositions. We don't have it for fact, but we presented that it may have been, potential could have. And now that we're looking at some changes, there are obviously questions as to the attempt to rewrite history, make it what it wasn't, make it look better, make it look worse. Take the discussion of replacing Discovery Day with Emancipation Day. Many would champion it. Many would say, we had a history of slavery, but do we know it as it has been accurately recorded? Was its sort of replacement with Discovery Day, as some alleged, they want to rewrite history so that it doesn't look as what it was? Or is it, as some have now more recently countered, we're trying to superimpose a historical record that really did not reflect the peculiarities of the Cayman Islands at the time? Not to dismiss the lady shared that slavery existed, but was it, to the viciousness and to the extent, given the absence of plantations and the like, that they had in other, slave colonies, Jamaica, for instance. She said, when she first came to Cayman, 50, 60 years ago, been here for as many decades, it's a different place. Now, our history isn't as easily recorded and accessible, but from what she understood, yes, the the era back then. A woman didn't own property. She didn't have any rights. And a person is owned by another person. That is in no, form or fashion, as she puts it, defensible. It's unconscionable. But was the environment in the Cayman Islands the same as it was on the slave plantations and the manor homes of the other Caribbean islands at the time? Or was it, as some have shared, that the discrimination and racism and the like that existed, was not that it was right or not wrong, but there was more, and times a relationship that one's existence depended on the other, the slave owner or slave and slave. As she shared, we're often told that the vessel may have been owned by the slave owner, but the slave may have been the captain, and their coexistence were not on equal terms, but there were a sense, of a more of a symbiotic relationship. Now, that may or may not be the case, and as she stressed, it does not take away, just like women didn't vote, women weren't seen in the same light as they are and should have been, and women, if their fathers left the properties to them, it was the man or husband who would be the one that they would look to, even if she was the one with the business sense, the academic education and the like. Doesn't change that was the nature of the historical record, but it was Cayman's slave past, akin to what it was in the plantations. Well, let's pause, let's chat, and as you go into the break, she shared, this is where we don't rewrite history. We make sure it's recorded and reflected accurately. And it should not be that our changes today try to superimpose the views and values of others who may not fully appreciate what transpired, in that era. Well, let me hear from you. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from the 5th to the 10th of February at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you are seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full service and dermatological service practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day when your belly roars like a lion. You need a lion to fill it. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Breakfast is back this Saturday, February 3rd at the Lions Community Center. Enjoy a tasty Caribbean breakfast of fish and fritters, liver and onions, and ackee and saltfish, starting at only $12. Get your Caribbean breakfast and support the Lions Club of Grand Cayman in their community efforts this Saturday, February 3rd at the Lions Community Center, starting at 7 a.m. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, serving the people of the Cayman Islands for over 5 decades.
Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturday evenings at 8 o'clock on Breeze Radio. Entertaining, enlightening, and inspirational. Topical with CI cultural and heritage flashbacks. And the wonderful music of yesteryear. From the Thomas Edison era to the recent past. Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on Breeze Radio. 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. We have 2 calls on the line, so let's see if we can get to both of them before we go to the 2 p.m. news. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, my lady. How are you today?
Not too hot today, and something not right.
Sorry to hear that. I only wish that there was a way to make it better.
Well, it's not COVID. I don't know what it is, but it's not COVID.
Yeah, well.
Must be changing the weather.
Yeah, there's much more in life these days, you know.
Yeah. Mr. Sterling, you okay?
I am, you know. I'm very thankful. And thank you for your love and concern. I always appreciate and welcome the prayers for provision and protection.
Yes, we all need it. Yeah, I just want to take my hat off to the Cayman Bratman, Mr. The Siemens, the way he
Mr. Raymond Scott.
Yeah, he
Yes,
sure
ma'am.
has a lot of education, and I don't know why our people here is playing with his head. Just don't, put him on a pedestal because he's doing such a great job. But God got him on a pedestal, so that's all that matters. A degree, but we got governments, past governments, and future governments know what this man can do, and he's still hanging there. But we'll just leave that as is. You had a gentleman yesterday. I can't call his name. It is Sabamba. How you pronounce his name? I don't want to disrespect him.
Yeah.
How you pronounce his name?
I will try because he's helped me. Mr. Belika Simamba.
Mr. Beliki?
Belika?
Belika? Okay. We'll leave it at
Simamba.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking yesterday about different countries and how long it takes for people to get a citizenship for those countries.
Uh-huh.
I can't blame those countries for doing it like that. You should earn that in a decent, and when I say a decent, I mean, you show me who you are in my country for 30 years or 25 years before I give you citizenship. You understand? So I just wonder if we're that hungry for a population that we can give an individual dog points. Walking a dog to get points, to get PR, to say we got citizenship people here in this island. Are we that desperate for population? Is it because we have no other source of income coming here, no more than tourism, banking, construction, and duties that once we got these people here, then the governments can just continue to depend on these couple of things I just call out, and the people and the population is growing rapidly. They say, well, you know what? They're going to keep the grocery stores going. They're going to keep the gas stations going. They're going to keep the hotels going. These people are getting PR over a Caymanian. When I say over a Caymanian, to the fact of the matter is we got Caymanians here who can't get a job, but you can get a PR, and tomorrow you can go to the school system and say, hey, I got a child that I need to bring here to go to school. You know what I mean? That is what's going on here in Cayman. And we got, I think that lady was talking just yesterday too. She had some good pointers there, and I heard her a couple of months ago too as well. For her to be Jamaican and feel the way she feels, you know, she is a genuine lady, a lady of dignity and pride, and who loves Cayman and respect Cayman. And to see that we got a lot of these, I don't know if I can even call it word on the radio. We got a bunch of these little P-boys around here making babies by our Cayman children, and then come and want to get a status, I guess a PR or a status. I guess, is it the same thing? Is it the same thing? PR and status is the same thing? Help me, because
no.
I do understand what is doing that immigration. And they're here making these babies, don't know how to support them, but yet they want a Cayman status because, I got a Caymanian baby. Immigration need to look into that. Tell me what you do for your child. What shelter does that child have for you to come here and look for papers off a little born child here in the Cayman Islands? And a lot of that is happening here. And we got the woman that's sitting around here that's being quiet. They think it's all good and well. But they don't realize that what they're doing is robbing their children's life from them, because 95% of the fathers don't even do anything for the children or know how healthy they are, or they have something to eat, do they have a shelter, and all that kind of good stuff, you understand? So I don't know really and truly what's going to happen here in time to come, because everybody wants Cayman papers. I wish I could get one. I wouldn't complain.
I hear you. I'm going to share something with you, or later on, maybe after the news, but I was listening to you.
Yes, and there's a gentleman who's been calling this for the record, wants to know what is the amount of concession that is being given out here in this island to these big investors. And Mr. Connor came across a couple of days ago and said something in regards to, I'm not going to say word for word how he can say it, but I made comments. I took nonsense to take sense out of it. And in other words, there's no record of how much concession is being given per year. I don't buy that, and I never will. Because, Sterling, if you are building an 8th-floor building on this island, and you're bringing in X amounts of dollars of material and furniture and mulch and topsoil and a door lock, and you got to take that paper to whoever has to go to the government and say, okay, this is what I spend in America, and this is what I'm going to build here in Cayman. I want free concession on that. You want to tell me the government don't have a record or a proper record of what is being accumulated on a yearly basis with concession? And I don't want to hear, well, I gave the little small man down the corner concession, and I gave the other little man in the corner concession. But when I go to the Miami and come back in with a comforter, I got to pay duties on it. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yep.
So I really believe if there's concession going on in this island, which it is, I'm going to continue. There should be an office set up for this concession to tell these poor people here in Cayman how we are being robbed, because we are here in need of places to live, jobs, and so forth. Children need to go to school. Children need to be protected. Children need to know that they're loved. Children need to know that they can live here in Cayman and work when they're grown and enjoy Cayman, instead of the white man, and I'm going to say that's wrong, instead of the white man come and say, you're going to clean my hotel for me. That's where you're going because you ain't got no education.
Yeah. But can I ask, right? And this is where I'm interested in how we in the Cayman Islands, both from the perspective of Caymanian as seen through the lens of as we've termed it now, the generational Caymanian, or the person who has Cayman status now. If you're Caymanian, to me, it's one and the same, and that emanates from a love for the country, right? So look at two things. One that you reference, and so many are saying it now. We went from calling people who are not from Cayman foreigners to a term that I was introduced to by the people who came here from elsewhere as expats, to now we put down by color, the young white people. And I recognize the world is growingly, increasingly divided, and the more that we allow ourselves to be divided, the easier it is for us to be managed, manipulated, chastised, and controlled, right? Scripture says, well, house divided can't stand. So in respectful to what you shared, but also to the time, and listen to Mr. Southern comments. I didn't get it all today that was shared on the show with Mr. O.C. I know that, we hear things sometimes and not exactly as was presented. So with respect to you, I know what he said wasn't exactly as you relayed this morning, and it probably speaks to the way government or the information is collected and collated and not shared. But we don't know how much, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I really don't think that we have an understanding of the consequences of what we are doing in this country, or if we do, we are not willing to be held accountable for it, because it's probably why we don't hold others. And you're saying that it becomes inflammatory, and people think you're being disrespectful, but it's not the case. I know we got the news. I know you may have some other things to share. We also have another caller that we want to get to as well.
You go get that call, sweetheart. We'll catch up.
Thank you so much, Mom. Appreciate it very much. All right, let's pause and take a break. To the other caller, if you're there, with the greatest of respect, maybe ask, please stay online if you can. We'll join you right after.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman breakfast is back. It will begin at 7 a.m. at the Lions Community Center. You can enjoy a tasty Caribbean breakfast of fried fish and fritters, liver and onions, and ackee and saltfish, starting at only $12. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman has served the people of the Cayman Islands for over 5 decades. Good afternoon once again. I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Several people are dead after a small plane crashed into a mobile home in Florida shortly after the pilot reported an engine failure, fire officials say. The fire chief said those killed included people on the aircraft and inside the mobile trailer in Clearwater. The crash damaged at least 3 other trailers in the mobile home park. The exact number of people killed in the incident remains unclear. And job creation in the United States surged in January as the economy continued to defy predictions of a slowdown. Employers added 353,000 jobs and average hourly pay jumped, while the unemployment rate held steady at 3.7%, the Labor Department said. The report extended a streak of job gains that has surprised economists who have expected a jump in interest rates since 2022 to slow the economy. Analysts, however, said the job market strength made an early rate cut less likely. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
And with that cue, it's back to me, Miss Susan. Okay, I'm looking at a couple of the messages that have been sent through to us. And I'm at that stage now where to see the phone, I need to put on my glasses. To see you, I need to take them off. All right, thanks to the wonderful lady who just called. We do have the other caller online, Miss Susan. Let's go to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling. And we do have a...
afternoon to you.
And to you, sir. And we do... All right. Just let Miss Susan know we do have a WhatsApp call coming in as well, right? Hey, thank you, sir. And please, for what it's worth, please accept our sincerest apologies. She did say you were on just after the lady before.
That's fine. I understood the lady had to say she often calls in, so carefully what she's saying. I agree with her about the immigration issue. We are going to have to come to serious terms. And we can do it. Our elected representatives do have that authority to define who a Caymanian is and to restrict certain people from getting certain positions and to also define those parameters that surround their decisions. And it's there in our Constitution. We can read. And one thing we do have to do is to keep pushing that envelope, the Constitution. We have often heard Dr. Steve McField and others speak about that, some who are former members of Parliament, House Representatives, legislative members, whatever we want to term it, and they were there, and so forth. It's the same thing, mere semantics and new terminology. I understand that. Moving forward, we need to get things more in a more advanced form, members of Parliament. The issue of the concessions, as Mr. O.C. did explain this morning, I heard quite a bit of that show, that you have to get that information from the different ministries or authorities who granted those concessions. It's all there. All those things will be very well recorded in government. We have very good government records, and it's all there. But you'd have to apply for that information from the different authorities, the NRA, the central core government granted, because it's there, and customs duties would have been there on those things, so that customs would have to be involved in saying this is a no duty item because of those concessions, agreeing with it, and so forth. And there are documents that would evidence those things, but they're really different. It might have been 30 different appropriations, if that's the correct nomenclature, that granted those concessions. So it would come as individual things and grouped together. If you want to get that, it may take quite a while to get the total sum of everything, if you see what I'm trying to say. So it's there. The information is there. The other thing, as I've often said, it's very obvious now that our system of taxation is wrong. We cannot totally depend on consumption-based majority taxation, because enough is never good enough. With consumption-based, you have to get more. We should long ago, and I've said it and I'll say it again and again, Blackadder's thing, a broken record. And you know who I'm talking about, blessed memory. Hello, Edwin, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, now that you turn the mic on, I can hear you. You can hear me. You were sharing about Mr. Blackadder. He was a great block layer.
A broken record.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said about it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thankfully, I could hear you. It was just that my mic wasn't on.
What I'm saying is we have to try to implement direct income tax. We cannot have, as you heard on the radio this morning, the tremendous salaries being earned by those people coming here. The lawyers and some different. It's humongous. The total sums of money in salaries that they earn. And we're not taxing them and their income. And we don't have to tax our people in any heavy kind of way. But the whole point is we have mandatory health insurance for the private sector, which we know is very onerous, and it isn't really working at all. Mm-hmm. We know that. Everybody knows it. We hear it every day. And the pension system, mandatory pensions, we had to dip into it when it should have been an unemployment compensation tax, as I suggested some 25 years ago, that when you're not working, you put money in there, small amounts of money to the government. And then when you go, instead of it being NAU or whatever you want to call it, or collecting on your pension, this should be a voluntary thing, if you want to call it, then you then you get a certain amount of money. It usually lasts for 6 months in most countries, because let's be practical and fair. No country can exist with most of the people unemployed. Most people are employed, so that money would only be for those who are unemployed for that while, and it would be benefits to them that they have put in the taxation system, and the government would have been earning interest on that money, and it goes on and on and on and on. Anyone can see that. You don't have to be an accountant or an economist to understand what I'm trying to say. It is there. Every country has it. Also, with the thing about abolition, that document ended the apprenticeship labor system here. That's what it ended. Slavery was already abolished 10 months before that. That apprenticeship system that was implemented by the British government, it wasn't working for the 985 slaves here. Some 10 months before that was read out by Captain Pack, and it was read out first at what is now the museum. I'm pretty sure of that, on May the 3rd, and then in Bordentown, May the 5th, and then at the St. James House, Pedro Castle, it's called, on May the 6th, 1835. So it's a bit of whichever date you want to use. And Captain Pack read it out, written by the then British governor of Jamaica, Lord Sligo, and he was commanded to write that document. He was against freeing the slaves. He says so in the document. I don't know why more people don't know this. He says, I'm commanded to write this document. But with the issue, and I'm glad my good friend Mr. Raymond Scott called in about those tankers and stuff, and it's good for us to know all that. It's so important that those elements and past things of our history and our heritage that was so important, and now we'd understand why it's so impactful with terrible incidents of the those terrorists there in the Middle East there, and what they're doing and what it's causing in the world today. We saw this 45 years ago with another week. I won't go into this anymore.
Yeah.
But that shows you that aspect of it. With the independence thing, people have got to understand it's a complex thing. First of all, you have to move towards a much different constitution than we have, which Bermuda did. But we'd have to go something similar. And then you move towards the decision to have a referendum. You'd have to have that. I just don't see it happening now with our situation now. With Mr. Ormond days, it would have been much more practical. We had more Caymanians then than others. We were the majority. Now it's not that way at all. But you have to move towards a stronger constitution, which I've always believed we should be moving towards a constitution of more strength. It would take a long time to explain that to you, because most people think that Jamaica had a referendum to go independent. No, they did not. They had a referendum to get out of the Federation. And when they came out, which was the system implemented or advised by the British government for all the Caribbean nations, and you heard all the explanations of what our involvement would be or non-involvement, as Mr. Panton went about in a very specific way. They had decided to come out, and it was a 66% win, that referendum, or 68%, I can't remember, it was 1959. And then Mr. Manley, the Premier at the time, Norman Manley, said, I will now prepare my people for independence. They had already written constitutions that had made the governor's powers there so weak that he was, in essence, from 1957, the governor in Jamaica was, in essence, you can check this out, you don't have to believe me, was a ceremonial figure. That's all he really was. That's what he was. And by 1962, they held elections under a new constitution written, because they have to have general elections. They can't continue with the same government that was in power at all. and that because it's now a different country, you're coming on a different, and they went independent with that constitution that they had written. A completely different thing, a completely different system of government and independent. So all those things have to be taken, and the people would have to learn about this and be educated about this kind of thing before a step towards
Yes, sir.
holding a referendum. So I just wanted to put those things out to people. It's not as simple as you think, and there we go. You know, it's essential for us to get that education. Doesn't mean scholastic. It means knowing about
What's
what
happening.
it all entails.
Yes,
What it
yes.
all entails. But thank you for listening to me. There's a lot more, but we can't say it in this time.
No,
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Again, thank
All
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling. As the caller shared, you know, the geopolitical landscape, the social fabric, perhaps the composition of the society, the demographics, significantly different, as the caller shared in today relative to Mr. Orman's time. But as he shared, we need to have proper discussion and edification, whether it's legalizing, you know, ganja, constitutional empowerment, or whether we are launching some other policy initiative, education, healthcare, you know, physical development. But I wanted to share as we go into the break, then we'll take the caller, the lady, wonderful lady who called prior to the last gentleman, shared, you know, she was referring to Mr. O'C's comments on Monday or Wednesday, and she was listening earlier. But it's again where constant repetition and sufficient clarification can lead to, you know, absolute edification. So let's pause. When we come back, more talk today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Say hello to Los Angeles. Explore Foodie Haven's local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares now on sale for just $410 CI round trip to LA. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
You asked, and we listened. The Water Authority's new customer portal is here. The new and improved platform lets you manage your account easily and more independently from a user-friendly design. With the new customer portal, you can view and pay your bill online, schedule bill payments, make payments on multiple accounts at one time, manage tenant and landlord accounts, view your consumption history, make service requests, and so much more. The service is also available to tenant accounts. Visit www.waterauthority.ky to sign up today.
Hey gentlemen, you want to make her Valentine's Day special? Well, take her shopping at the Cayman Islands Agriculture Show. You get all the food you can eat, she gets her plants and treats. It's a win-win situation. Ash Wednesday, February 14th. Visit CaymanAgriculture.com or you can visit them on their Facebook page.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymanational.com today.
Radio Cayman, the forum of the people. Join me, Art Connor, on For the Record on Radio Cayman. We put the tough questions to government officials, independents, and opposition members of our parliament. And from time to time, we revisit our storied past. Tune in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Reach out to us on 949-6990 or 1-800-534-8255. WhatsApp us 925-3261 or email talktooc@gmail.com. Your voice matters.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Come back and thanks for joining us. And I believe we have, what is it, 1,575,971 calls? Let's take the first one. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, good evening, John.
Hey, how are you today?
You,
Yes.
I'm very thankful doing. As I keep listening to the talk of self-determination,
Mm-hmm.
it makes me wonder when we will ever be ready for that. And I say that to say this: in this island here, every government-owned entity or responsibility, everyone them should be Caymanians, heading those departments up. And what has happened over the years is that Caymanians has had this, those that were in authority, has had this crab in the barrel mentality that they don't want to see Duino get in any influential position, so they're going to hold him down. But you come off the plane and you come here, oh, he know more than Duino know. Okay? He never went to the same college. He didn't went to no college, but Duino went college. I'm just using you as a reference.
No, I hear you. And then you got to train them and like, yeah.
And then you got to train them, and I am just, it just, gives me a moment to pause to wonder, how are we going to be self-determined if we do not have faith in our own and give our own the opportunity to rise to the top and help to govern their country. Now, I am very much happy to know that Mr. Walton stuck around the little while that he did. An excellent police officer by all means.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with the gentleman, and he was a great guy to work with. He wasn't afraid to get out in the field and run after criminals, which is lacking today in the police service. He wasn't afraid to do observations and lock up criminals, which again, in my opinion, is lacking. But I congratulate him in his achievement,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that we all will support him, because as crime escalates in Cayman, we need to play our role as well. To make sure that those that are doing it, if we see anything, we need to speak up about it. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that is just. I think that before we can start talking about self-determination, we need to start talking about. We need to have a real big talk about our own. Will we give our own a chance? And that is the question that looms out there. I know that you have other callers, so I'll just leave you at that, Dwayne.
No, I appreciate
and
that.
You have a great weekend.
Good. When you do have time, I had two questions to ask of you, if you wish, and just in general, how prevalent do you think that view, that push to self-determination, to independence, do you think is widespread in the community?
I think that it's little pockets. I never hear it that often, but when I do, it's mostly on the radio from persons, from the scholars. I would suggest.
Okay.
More so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that sort of answers the second question, but I'll ask it all the same. Who's driving it? Is it, as you shared, the scholars? What segment of our society? Which people? Which person? Is it? The generation that came on in is the one that's been here for 50 years. Is the one that's been here for 5 minutes. So do you think it's been driven by any particular group or individual?
No, I can't say Dwayne, because it's just this morning I heard it on your sister show, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, for the record, Mr. Hart, man. Join him Monday morning, man. Don't forget.
Right.
We can promote it.
Yeah. But I couldn't get on to express myself.
Right.
But because Lord Graham had everything tied up there. So
can you talk to him a little? Tell him not to talk so much.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, man.
You mean I'll leave it at that?
Well, thank you for listening, both to Mr. Arts, for the record, and of course for Talk Today and joining us. And the two programs can complement each other. But thank you for sharing your perspective. All right, have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Hey, we got 5 and 15 minutes. 5 minutes left. 949-8037, 949-6990. Thanks to that caller for his perspective, and for all who share. Many of you, for various reasons, choose to share your perspectives, in a different way. Thank you all for all these years, sitting and chatting, showing me information and sharing that I didn't know, correcting sometimes, but often questioning things that are said publicly, so that we are in an informed perspective. All right. We have a WhatsApp call coming in. We also have another call as well. There's 5 calls and only one Susan, so she will get to them as she can. So we take the call in the hard line, and then we take the WhatsApp call after. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Well, good afternoon, Dwayne. I know you're getting to the end of it, so I'll be very brief. First of all, I just want to just acknowledge the lady who mentioned my name there. And
you're held in high regard, for what it's worth.
Well,
I can't say you're liked. I'm not going to say you're liked, but you're respected.
Yeah, those are not always the same. Yeah,
right.
So, people in Cayman have been very kind with me. That's why I've never really disengaged with Cayman. I'm very much involved. I love, by the way, listening to that lady. She's got very good ideas. An
amazing lady. Yes.
Yes, very, very great. And by the way, you got my pronunciation right. Bilika Simamba.
Did we do a song like that one day? Did we attempt to do a calypso? Do you remember it, man?
Well, maybe a calypso, but I used to tell Woody Da Costa, I said, you see, the easiest way to remember, especially my last name, is think of it as Italian. In Italian, they've got these words which are like these names which are like 4 syllables, like Docena, Molina, Piccolo, Simamba. If you squeeze it in there, you won't even notice the difference.
They sound like a calypso, man. It sounds like a...
Yes.
Mighty Sparrow could do a good thing with your name, man.
Oh, Sparrow could do some classic calypso which we can dance to for years and so on. So it's very interesting. I also enjoy listening to Mr. Hellstone because he has such a broad understanding of issues, and more than that, he also has his own innovative ideas of how certain things can be addressed. So I just said, well, let me give you that now. What I really called about this morning. Well, I called about what I spoke about, but the first thing that I'm going to talk about, this morning I listened to OC, right? And I listened to Mr. Roy Borden. Mr. Roy Borden said that when he left UCCI, and he said that there was a contract, a clause in the contract of the succeeding president which said that him was not supposed to be seen on campus. Now, I heard that right, and he was just saying that this is totally wrong and that the government should really never have allowed that. And I thought that I should mention that because I think in Cayman, government has to be able to better stand up for its own people. I think even the idea that that seminar, which was held in his honor, couldn't be held on campus to make it easier for some students like in between classes to attend. I think that was a shame. It ended up being at the Harquail, and I was privileged to present a paper at that seminar. I really think that government should stand up for its own. There was just this seminar the other day, which I couldn't attend because it was not online, and of course because I'm not in Cayman at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The book about Mr. Ormond Patton says that he is a special son. But I thought that Mr. Roy Borden is also at another level a special son. And to allow him to be treated like that, I don't think that was right. So I'll just appeal to people in government to better protect their own. I think that would be a good thing.
Hey, thank you for that.
I think we're 2:29. Thanks very much. I thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for when you listen, and especially when you have a chance to share. Have a great, safe, and enjoyable weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, if anyone fails to appreciate who's in charge, well, there's Miss Susan. And do we have another call, or are we good to go? We gone. She said we gone. Well, let's go. It's 2:20 as the last caller. He was the last caller. It's a Friday. I am indeed honored and privileged to have been given this fantastic opportunity to sit and facilitate. I will endeavor increasingly as each day unfolds with a great sense of purpose and health to encourage each and every single individual in this country to speak from a considered perspective, to stand in the gap with a sense of love and commitment, and to desire that we see a Cayman Islands that is unified as we join hands and hearts. It doesn't mean that we can trace our generational roots back centuries, that makes us Caymanian only, or we have been naturalized, or we've been through marriage. What it means is that we take pride in who we are, and that while we're here, we're making the place better because of our presence, not worse because of our, inaction, not worse because of our, there's some colloquialisms that immediately come to mind, but I won't share them in case there are others who are unfamiliar. But just because of our bad behavior, if every single individual does his or her best and gives of his or her utmost, it'll be a space. That's not naive. If you ever play team sports and you have one team member, whether that's the sub to come on or that's the player for some reason isn't on the roster, isn't positive and a strong cheerleading champion for the team, it drags the team down. Well, same with an organization where one colleague isn't pulling the weight, isn't a part of moving things forward. No, it doesn't mean that that person's voice of dissension isn't, merited, isn't something that we should take on board or wrong because it's the lone voice. But what it does mean is that we need to check ourselves relative to our motivations. Is all we do because we have an ulterior motive? We want the award, the prize, the raise, the promotion, the recognition? Or are we seriously looking at making a better place? Now, in the context of much, I'll leave it at that and share with you. Join Mr. Art Monday morning. Come back for Talk Today. Until then, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.